Hi everyone. I wanted to do a live class today, but didn't get around to posting about it before. So I thought I would just talk a little bit about the way I like to eat, which is having some protein and some grains and some veg, stuff like that in the fridge. And then every day, lunch or dinner, I kind of combine it in a different way. I'll either have a salad or maybe some salmon, some kind of fish or chicken and a grain. But what I love the most is sauces. I have to have like a sauce on whatever I have. I'll mix some basil sauce in with my quinoa, or I'll buy some lebna and put something in that, and always have kind of a sauce going on with whatever I'm having. So I thought I would show you guys today. This is like my dirty little secret of turning anything I have into a pesto. So I shouldn't even say pesto, because pesto is traditionally one thing. This is like a sauce that's kind of in a pesto style. So what I'm going to show you is just using up like these tiny bits of things that I have left. I have some leftover kale that I chopped up for a salad, but I'm kaled out. So I'm going to use some kale, and then I'm going to use some, I actually have these really fresh Brussels sprouts. Even if you don't like Brussels sprouts, I promise you, once you put a lot of Parmesan on anything, it tastes really, really amazing. So I'm going to use a bowl of a Cuisinart. Some of you might have like a magic bullet. That's fine too. What you want to do in that case is just make sure you have enough liquid in there for it to spin around. And you can puree it as fine as you want. I know a lot of people do pesto by kind of grinding it. Up to you. If you have a way that you like to make pesto, or you want to look up a technique online, this is just the sort of like quick and easy way I like to do it, so that I can just get on with things and have it in the fridge for a week. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have my kale already chopped from that salad. I'm going to cut up some Brussels sprouts and just cut the bottoms off of them. Maybe I'll use like 10 or 15 Brussels sprouts. Then I'm just going to slice them pretty thin so that they get mixed pretty well with the rest of the ingredients. You do need some kind of fresh lemon for this, although I don't think anybody would fault you if you used another kind of acid. Probably, maybe some nice red wine vinegar, or some white wine vinegar would be good. So I'm just sort of, slicing these pretty fine, sort of like that. The other thing you can do, which I'll talk about a little bit after, is doing something in the pesto style, but with some cooked vegetables. That's also really good. And I really love to mix it with any kind of nut that I have on hand. So don't worry too much about having the right kind of nut. If you have walnuts, almonds, kind of pretty much anything. I almost never use pine nuts, so that shouldn't be a factor. Okay, so bowl of my mixer. Let me pull my mixer over here. Hopefully you can see. I love this mixer. Okay, so bowl going on, and in it I'm going to put all my kale that will be happy to get used up. I'm going to put in the Brussels sprouts. I like to put the vegetables in first to get them a little bit more fine, and also so I don't pulverize the nuts too much. So let's hope I plugged this in and that it works. A little bit loud, but I'm just going to, it's going to be a little bit loud, but I'm just going to pulse this until they're sort of finely chopped. I'll show you what they look like. So I would say you want to get it to a point where it kind of looks like that. Don't worry too much. It's honestly, this texture, you can kind of make it all your own, whatever you want to do with it. The next thing I'm going to do is put in some nuts. So I have some pistachios, which you could use if you like pistachios and they're shelled. That would be good. I also have some really nice roasted pecans. You could use raw, doesn't really matter. It's just whatever you have. These days I'm into using pecans in here. So I'm going to put in maybe 2 handfuls of pecans. It also doesn't really matter. Sometimes I go more. If I don't have enough, I go a little bit less. Maybe I'll pour in a few pistachios just for fun. Okay. I also want to get some acid into here, some lemon juice. So I squeezed some lemon juice earlier. Go by taste for the lemon. I would say that maybe I'm going to put in the equivalent of 1 lemon, 1.5 lemons, but you could go more or less. It's really to taste. Maybe a little more. That's probably maybe a 1/4 cup. And I'm going to put in a big pinch of salt. That's probably a teaspoon. You're also putting in Parmesan, so kind of watch out, because that's going to make it a little saltier. But anybody that knows me knows that I really like things to be pretty salty, especially because if it's going on a piece of salmon or something mild. So I'm gonna grind this up again, and then we'll talk about adding some Parmesan to it. So at this point, I just want to get like the nuts mixed in. It just takes 2 seconds, and you can see, where's my spoon? You can see this is already like, you know, pretty fine. If you're doing it in one of the like magic bullet, I would say you may want to add oil a little bit sooner, just so it's gonna work its way through everything here. So I'm gonna add some olive oil now. I would say, I mean, I always do this by eye, and you can do it by eye too. I would say about maybe half a cup. Maybe that's a little bit more. 3/4 of a cup. We might add a little more to that. So we've got lemon, salt, we've got raw green veg, and we have some kind of nuts. So now let's grate up some Parmesan. Use whatever you have. Asiago, if you have some, what else is there? Asiago, all the other Italian cheeses. I'm drawing a blank, but you know what I'm talking about. Pecorino would be good. I would tend to stick to those, but I mean, be creative. I just do it on a big grate just so it mixes in well. Don't put any big chunks in there. So I would say maybe, I mean, I like a lot of Parmesan in here. So if I have it, I tend to put in as much as I possibly can. I also like roasted garlic in here, but if you don't have any roasted garlic, or you don't feel like roasting any garlic, you can put in a clove of fresh garlic, and you can also put in no garlic. Sometimes I just really can't be bothered. So this is about half a cup. I may want to put in a tiny bit more. Let's see. These are kind of my favorite no recipes. It's, I'm going to give you a list of ingredients. I'll send them to you if you want to sign up also for some upcoming classes and lots of news we have going on at Zoe Ford, like deliveries and also an online shop with lots of fun stuff. So I will send a recipe out that's like a no recipe, just a bit of ingredients and some directions on what to do. So that's about half a cup of Parmesan. Let's get that going. I mean, it could definitely use more, but that's fine. About half a cup is totally fine. Let me just make sure this is recording. Okay, good. So we got a half a cup in there. We've got the lemon juice. I'm going to pour in a little bit more olive oil to make it smooth. Maybe another half cup. All right. I'm probably going to need some more lemon juice. And I'm going to puree this now. I'm probably just going to wipe the sides down just to make sure everything is in there. It's going to be so good. Now you're just going to puree it as much as you want. I like it quite fine to be almost like a paste, but use your discretion. Some people like it a little bit chunkier. It depends how you're going to use it. So I'm just going to get it pureed pretty fine, and then I'm going to adjust it for seasoning and just maybe use a little more salt, a little more lemon, get it just perfect. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now it's looking definitely more pesto-y, but it's pretty chunky, and I like mine pretty smooth. I'm going to do a little taste test. It's just amazing. Really good. I'm going to put in a little tiny pinch more salt and a little bit more lemon. It's so good. So I'm just going to puree it so it's a little more pureed. I like it like a paste, but this would be perfect, and it would taste amazing on fish or chicken. Might depend what kind of nuts you put in. If you put in Brazil nuts or cashews, something with a little more fat, might be a little smoother. Okay, this is done. Look how good this looks. So this is now pureed. And usually I would put it in like, just like a kind of Tupperware container. But you could also freeze it in some like little jars. If you're gonna freeze it in the jars, maybe just put it below this line, just so that you have a little bit of space when it freezes, it's gonna expand. So I stick this into a container or a Ziploc, and then I have it for the whole week or 2 weeks. This will last a really long time. And you've done something up with your vegetables. It's different, and kids will probably eat this if you put it on some pasta. It's really, really awesome. So I wanted to show you one more thing. I'm gonna pull out my little machine, and maybe we could do a little totally not traditional version of this. Let me get this guy plugged in here. And this is we're gonna do like a carrot pesto. And I don't mean with the carrot greens, I mean with like actual roasted carrots. I roasted some carrots the other day for a salad. This is what was left over. So I'm gonna put these in the little, I call it the Whizzy, little magic bullet. Put that in there. And then I'm gonna load everything in. So maybe this one I'll do pistachios. So like a handful of pistachios in there. Definitely some more lemon juice. Be really good. Some salt. And I'm gonna put some more Parmesan in here. Let's see, can you see this? So let's put a little bit more Parmesan. Maybe just a smaller amount since I just have a few carrots in there. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in. And some oil, maybe a quarter of a cup, a third of a cup. That seems about right. Okay. My favorite little machine here. So good. Okay. You can add a little bit more oil if you find that it's not mixing that well, but this looks awesome. Okay, so let me show you. Get this guy over here. So this is sort of a version of pesto, just using the kind of principles of pesto. And this too, I mean, this would be amazing in a, in like a pasta salad or on, hope you guys can see that, or on any kind of fish would be amazing. And all I did was have a few roasted carrots left over. Use whatever nuts you have. You can even use pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds. You can experiment a little bit. And what I'll do is send you sort of some ratios, you know, this much raw veg to this much parm and this much oil. And then you should totally go wild, make your own version of it. I would love to see it. So you can tag me on social media. You can follow us on Instagram at Zoe Ford Montreal. We'll be putting up lots of info there. There's also a Zoe Ford Catering Facebook page. Or you can check in with us at zoeford.com and send us any questions you have. I'm always happy to answer questions. So enjoy this, guys. I hope that it's something fun for you to do during the week. And especially if you have just one or two of something left over, a couple of carrots, a little bit of kale. You can use basically anything green and crunchy or something roasted and cooked. Enjoy. Now you know my little secret. Sauce on everything, lots of salty, you know, add little salty components to everything. That's what I love to eat. So thanks, guys. See you very soon.